So I haven't updated this deck list yet, but today I'm just going to convince you guys that Return of the Zombies is a good card. So, banish one zombie monster on the field, uh, then special summon one zombie monster from the graveyard of the player who controlled it to their field in defense position. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one of your banished zombie monsters into the deck, and if you do, set this card. But banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Return of the Zombies once per turn. So, this card, pretty nuts, actually. So, you can shuffle one of your banished zombie monsters into the deck. And if you do, set this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can do this at any time during either player's turn. But of course, to activate a trap, you have to set it for one turn, then you can activate it the next turn, as you do. But either way, if you noticed on the first line of text, banish one zombie monster on the field, that's completely untargeted, the same as Doom King Balladrock, but it's only on the field. And then the other thing is you summon one zombie monster from the graveyard of the player who controlled it to their field in defense position. Then, yeah, this part is mandatory. So, if this card is in your graveyard, meaning it recycles itself, and it can recycle like a Mezuki or like a Spirit Master for your Swallow Slash, I guess. Whatever. So it does that, and then it'll set itself. So this is basically, I'd argue, to be two untargeted banishes on the field, which is pretty good. And the special summon one zombie monster from the graveyard of the player who controlled it to their field. This is only one of the use cases. You can actually banish your own monsters, and you might wonder, but why would I do that? So, let's say we have either Baron de Flor or Doom King Balladrock on the field. We can activate, let's say, Doom King effect under skill drain. So, let's say chain 1 Uni, chain 2 Doom King. Chain 3, Return of the Zombies, banishing our Doom King, special summoning something else, and then Doom King can activate the banish effect freely even though skill drain is on the field. And in case you want to bring back Doom King later, in that case, I guess you could actually unbanish Doom King and shuffle Doom King back into your deck, actually. And then set Return of the Zombies again. This card actually also allows you to dodge Called by the Grave. So, let's say chain 1 Called by the Grave. Well, no, it'd be chain 1 Doom King effect special, chain 2 Called by, chain 3 Return of the Zombies. You banish one of your monsters on the field, special summoning Doom King or whatever monster. Under the effects of Zombie World, it's basically you banish any monster on the field and special summon any monster from the graveyard of the player who controlled it. So this specifically synergizes with Rivalry a bit as well. So you can force your opponent to have like an Ash Blossom or Maxi on their field after they normal or special summon a monster. You can just lock them into like zombies with a useless monster on the field like Ash Blossom Maxi. And if you summon it during this turn, of course, they can't change the battle position either, and it'll be summoned in defense position, meaning they can't crash it and they're just stuck under the Rivalry Zombie World block with no play available. Similar to what you can do with like a Vampire Sucker. But this also, oh, wrong card. This also allows you to dodge targeted effects like Imperm and whatnot. So you can go ahead, let's say, chain 1, I don't know, some monster. Let's say Bolin, chain 2, Doom King, chain 3. I don't know, like an Imperm or something. Whatever. And then we can go ahead and chain Return of the Zombies on Imperm or whatever, right? So this also technically allows you to dodge a droplet. Like, let's say, I don't know, chain 1, Raigeki, chain 2, Baron, chain 3, Forbidden Droplet, chain for Return of the Zombies to banish the Baron, allowing it to resolve, and your opponent has presumably discarded some cards from their hand, and by sending or banishing just the Baron, and let's say you bring back, I don't know, whatever's in your graveyard, you can bring back anything under Zombie World. So, like, let's say you want to bring back, I don't know, Shen Shen. Sure, you can bring back Shen Shen. Pretty cool. Alright, now with the actual downsides of the card. I've kind of been avoiding talking about it here a bit, but speaking of which, it can bring back Sight. Pretty cool. So one of the downsides is your banished cards will not be turned into zombies by the effect of Zombie World. So you can't, like, unbanish, for example, Brand of Floor. Not a big deal. But the big thing is, for it to really pop off, you need to have Zombie World active on the field. If it is not, the power level of this card drastically goes down quite a bit, but you can still use it to dodge, like, a skill drain to resolve your cards. This is useful against, like, Eldlik, for example. You just banish all 3 of their Golden Lords. You can also use, like, Return of the Zombies to banish some Golden Lords as well. And they play Ash Blossom and maybe Maxi as well in Eldlik, so go ahead and, like, banish Golden Lord. Special summoning, like, Ash Blossom. That's pretty good. Or just Doom King banishing the Golden Lords. And they don't have a super good out for, like, Return of the Zombies either. Speaking of which, against Eldlik specifically, you don't even need Zombie World necessarily up for Return of the Zombies to pop off, which is pretty nice. But the fact that this allows you to dodge stuff as well, pretty good. There's a lot of versatility in this card, and it's also low rarity. It's only a normal card, actually. So I hope I've convinced you guys that this card is some spicy tech and worth considering in your zombie decks. Well, sometimes there are better options and whatnot, but this is for sure a fun tech option. And it's decent for budget, as you can tell by the name of this deck, Budget Zombie World Master Duel. This is one of my favorite cards you can run in Zombie World because of its versatility and usage, and how overall strong it is, and it's a fairly interactive card, I would say. So, yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys, and hopefully when the new structure is actually revealed by the time around when I post this, actually, maybe. So, I hope the list is actually, well, the structure deck is actually good, and I'll finally be able to build, like, a semi-decent Zombie World deck. Just losing this single card is pretty damning for this deck. And its power level and its consistency, everything, like, just goes down into the drain, even though we already get shafted by, like, a single Ash Blossom with this kind of build. It is what it is, but, yeah. I'll see you guys later, I guess.